Hello and welcome to Basic English. Today's topic is The Great Gatsby and the summary of the second chapter. The second chapter of The Great Gatsby starts off with Tom Buchanan and Nick Carraway and Peter Eckelberg, an acquaintance of Tom, taking a trip to New York. Tom insists that Nick has to meet his girl, or better said his mistress, Myrtle Wilson. They visit a car repair shop owned by George B. Wilson, the husband of Myrtle. Wilson is described as a blond, spiritless man, faintly handsome. Tom greets him courtly and chats with him about a car he wants to sell him. Myrtle Wilson enters the shop at that point. We learn that she is in her mid-30s, faintly stout, and carries a certain vitality about her. She ignores her husband completely and is only focused on Tom upon entering. After sending her husband away, Tom tells Myrtle to meet him, and it becomes clear that this is a common occurrence, because how and when they meet is immediately understood between those two. Tom thinks it is good for Myrtle to get away from the car repair shop, as he thinks it is a disgusting place. Mr. Wilson is seemingly unaware of the affair between her wife and Tom. Even though Tom is relatively open with his affair and is known for taking her to popular establishments, which other acquaintances of Tom frown upon, this time Myrtle drives separately from Tom and Nick to their destination. Arriving in town, Myrtle does a little shopping and decides to go get a dog, for which Tom pays. They end up at an apartment building, and despite Nick wanting to leave, Tom insists on him staying and leaves no room for argument. Mrs. Wilson decides to invite her sister Catherine and the neighbors, the McKees. Nick confesses to only ever being drunk twice in his life, and one of those times is this particular evening. Catherine is described as a worldly girl, also in her 30s. The McKees make quite an odd pairings. Mr. McKee is a photographer, and his wife seems almost too proud to have been photographed over 100 times by her husband. Nick and Catherine's conversation lands upon Gatsby, and she claims to know Gatsby is the cousin of Kaiser Wilhelm and is scared of him. The topic is cut short as Catherine goes on explaining that neither Myrtle nor Tom can stand the person they are married to. Myrtle's sister is very opinionated about their relationship and states that the only reason they don't get divorced is due to the fact that Daisy, Tom's wife, is Catholic and they don't believe in divorce. Nick knows this to be untrue and is shocked by this lie. However, it does indicate Tom doesn't have the kind of deep-rooted hatred towards his wife as Myrtle has towards her husband. That is evident as Myrtle goes on saying she immediately regretted her decision to marry Wilson. Even though they have been together and lived together over Wilson's repair shop for 11 years, she and her sister think Myrtle deserves better and that Tom is more suitable for her. The evening is getting late and Nick wants to leave but keeps getting pulled into conversations and arguments as the alcohol flows. The evening at the apartment ends with Tom and Myrtle fighting over if Myrtle is allowed to mention Daisy's name. This ends with Tom slapping her with an open hand and breaking Myrtle's nose. Again displaying Tom has a certain devotion to his wife, Mrs. McKee and Catherine console Myrtle as blood ends up everywhere. Finally, Mr. McKee and Nick take their leave and the others stay behind. Mr. McKee invites Nick to lunch someday, and Nick agrees. Then he goes on to take the 4 o'clock train back home. And that sums up the second chapter. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below in the comments. Have a good day.